Hi everyone, and welcome back to another daily title video. So this one, I'm just going to talk a little bit here. It's going to be a little different than the last few. We're going to instead explore the seekp and functions, probably mostly because it's almost like a new pattern language on top of the normal pattern language, one where it's kind of like it basically takes, it's like squeeze, but except it takes two lists, one a list of name patterns and the other a list of name transformations. And if you ignore the second list and just use the name patterns, it kind of becomes, basically squeeze, but with just general names instead of only numbers. And a scaling factor where it more or less takes, a certain number of cycles and spreads the pattern out over that. And if you use both of the lists, it kind of becomes like a combination of squeeze and pick F at the same time, but again with like some more complicated patterning to it. So yeah, we're gonna mess around with that for a bit. The one thing I do want to explain is that there's this. I'm going to use this function here to add numbers to to do addition on strings that are really just numbers. I'm going to do that so that I can play around with some like weird mathy tricks and stuff the same way I have before with like squeeze, putting an offset inside the pattern string and things like that. So yeah, we're going to demonstrate a few things and see how it goes. So you can kind of hear that what's happening here is that it's taking this, named list of patterns here and then stretching it out so that it's, these four, this would normally be like four things in a cycle, and it's, that's how you would normally read this pattern string, but instead it's stretching it out so that it's happening across 8 cycles. So, which is why you will hear like, two chords in, rather than just one. having trouble figuring out how well it's using the other, if it's actually randomly choosing in here, or if it's just silently picking one of them. Because I feel like it's not actually doing some of these other operations. Let's try again. Okay, so I actually think pretty conclusively it's not the mini language inside is actually less sophisticated than I thought. I think when you put more complicated things after the colon here, I think it's just reading those as potential names. I don't think it's doing a more complicated parsing, which is fine. Not what I would have guessed necessarily, but that's okay. We can work with those limitations pretty easily. So yeah, it's, I mean, really, like, let's be real here. It's the putting the complicated patterning after the to the right of the colon is just, it's just sheer laziness on my part. We can do, as we saw, we can do the forwards and backwards, plain example forwards and backwards at the same time, just super easily, just this way. Like, that's fine. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. So yeah, I think this is going to be pretty cool to play with. I'm making some slightly shorter videos on Tuesday the 18th, right? Because I'm getting my second COVID vaccination finally tomorrow. And the first one left me with a week of fever and sickness and barely being able to walk. So I'm preparing a bunch of videos. I'm preparing these videos just in case, since so many people have had the experience of the second vaccine being worse than the first, I'm going to make sure that I don't lose my streak of putting these up, and also can potentially rest if it actually makes me feel that sick. My partner had just had it last Thursday, right? And they were like, felt horrible for like 36 hours, and then they were fine. So I'm hoping that's what I get. But if not, you'll see these videos going up daily, like nothing's wrong, and hopefully I'm not like in COVID, like baby COVID hell. So I'll probably call this here, since this was an already almost 20-minute video, probably 20 minutes by the time I'm done talking, and then I'll schedule it, and schedule a couple more to take us through maybe like through Friday, and so yeah, I hope people learn something from these ones, and take care.